Let me ask you something simple that is not simple at all. If you finally felt safe after being hurt, how far would you go to keep that feeling? If a crowd cheered for you to protect yourself, would you notice when protection turned into punishment? Stay with me, because this story may help you see your own hands in the light. We drop in at night, when the screen glow makes every face look brave. A crowd stands outside a co-working loft with phones held high. They chant neat words about safety while stepping on broken glass. Inside, a ring light burns hot in a room that smells like tea and stress. Maya Voss faces the camera in a soft sweater with steady eyes. Her voice is calm and low, and people say it makes their heart rate slow. The channel is called Bright Harbor, and the slogan is easy to remember. Hope is a boundary you can hold. She reads a live comment that names a small bakery across town. The comment says the bakers gave money to a group that helps with legal defense on both sides. The chat moves like a river after rain, and it starts to flood. Words like protect and safe and care fly past faster than the eye can track. Then someone posts an address and adds a warning label that sticks. The crowd outside nods and says that warning is love with a firm edge. A window cracks where the smell of warm sugar used to drift to the street. This is our entry point, and it is not the start, but it is where the heat shows. Now we wind back just enough to understand how a porch light became a spotlight. Maya used to be an intern who got ignored until someone shouted at her every day. She left that job shaking and then recorded a shaky video on a borrowed phone. She spoke slowly and said that she wanted to heal without hating her own face. Strangers wrote thank you under the video, and some sent small donations. She made a second video and a third, and the messages multiplied like little lamps. She said that hope was not a slogan, but a daily habit that anyone could learn. She ran group sessions that she called harbors because people docked their worry there. She kept names private and never named the person who hurt her. People trusted that restraint, and they trusted the cadence of her breath. Sponsors arrived slowly with soft language and strong budgets. The Discord rooms filled, and moderators learned to sweep for sharp corners. The city learned to say the word boundary the way you say hello. Then came the reporter with the odd smile and the careful pen.
I want to write about how hope scales without turning into a product.
Elliot Crane liked receipts and disliked crowds that walked in one thought. He asked for numbers and got them, and he asked for stories and got those too. At first it looked clean and kind and strong enough to stand. Maya helped people track resources and leave unsafe jobs and breathe. When a known predator was exposed, she pointed to hotlines and legal aid. She told her audience to hold their anger like a candle and not a torch. The crowd loved that line, and they wrote it on stickers and mugs. But crowds love a little fire, even when they swear they do not. Then the bakery rumor started like fog that turns into a storm. Hannah and Luis owned the bakery with a chalkboard sign and long hours. They gave to a legal aid fund that promised fair help to anyone in a conflict. They liked due process because they once needed it in a landlord fight. A moderator saw the donation and posted a note in a staff channel. The note said the bakery might feel unsafe to survivors who pass by. That note leaked in a screenshot with a neon frame. It raced across group chats and then into the live stream window. The mod said it was not a call to attack and only a protective notice. But warnings stick to people the way sugar sticks to skin on a hot day. Elliot watched the chat grow teeth behind the kind words. He started a draft with a title that made him uneasy, even as he typed it.
When hope starts to police a city, what happens to the people in it?
Jules Armitage stepped in at this point, and she mattered more than most. She was the first big success story and the first face in the old banner. She owed Maya a soft place to land in a hard year and she never forgot it.
I believe in healing, and I also believe in brakes on a moving car.
Jules asked questions in private that the crowd would not ask in public. She asked about finances and who audited the moderators and who could appeal a label. She was told the community audits itself and that discomfort means growth. She nodded and did not smile because growth also means pain without a plan. The backlash against the bakery grew while everybody insisted it was not backlash. People said, "Do not go there, just to be safe," and they said it gently at first. Then gentleness turned into a kind of firm warning with sharp edges. Elliot went to the shop and bought a loaf and a coffee and a slice of quiet. The glass had a spider crack near the edge, and the staff tried not to look at it.
We thought hope meant everyone got a fair listen.
We thought the sign on the door meant welcome to all.
They spoke softly like people who learned to make their own calm. The radio called and asked for an interview, and they said yes with careful words.
We give to a fund that helps people on every side of a case.
We do not want anyone hurt, and we do not want to choose a side by force.
The clip played in cars and kitchens and in the Bright Harbor office too. It played under Maya's next live stream, and the timing felt like fate or editing. Her eyes went distant for one breath, and then she came back to center.
If harm hides in kindness, we name it anyway.
That line hit like a bell in a small room, and it kept ringing for hours. People took it as a call to speak, without waiting to check the aim. A post went up with a map and a red circle that looked like care and felt like heat. The bakery closed early with a note that sounded tired, but not bitter. Elliot rewrote his draft, and his headline grew a question mark like a thorn.
From healing to harassment, or is there a way back?
Jules looked at the moderator handbook and saw a quiet little list. The list tracked users who asked too many questions in calm tones. It was called a soft blacklist, and it sat next to a menu for support tiers. The tiers included a monthly fee that bought faster answers in the chat. The language said community care, and the structure looked like a gated garden. Jules closed her laptop and went for a walk where the street lamps hummed.
Boundaries are real, but so are brakes and seatbelts and speed limits.
She remembered the class where Maya taught the line, "Hold your boundary without turning it into a weapon." The line was neat and true and easy to put on a sticker and hard to live. Elliot met a former client who spoke with the careful pace of someone who has been burned.
Did anyone pressure you to take sides inside the forums?
I asked about where the money went, and people turned on me suddenly and called it accountability.
The ex-client cried without sound and then asked for no names to be used. Elliot agreed and wrote the details like steps on dry ground. He pulled invoices and pulled records and followed the trail to a gleaming office plant. The plant was glossy and real, and it drank better water than he did. Meanwhile, the bakery tried a fundraiser that felt like a last rope over a river. The comments were split between love and suspicion, and a few were pure poison. Jules finally asked Maya to meet off-camera and without a ring light.
You gave me a harbor, and I would not be here without it. Now the current is strong, and it is pulling people under.
I am not your enemy, and I am not the enemy of bread.
I know that, and I am asking for breaks, not blame.
They were both right in different corners of the room, and that is the worst kind of argument. Elliot finished his piece and took out the dramatic words and left the facts. He wrote that the goal was good, and the tools had turned sharp when no one was looking. He wrote that blacklists make people small even when the list has soft in its name. He wrote that safety fees feel like taxes on fear, and people will pay them until they crack. He hit publish on a quiet morning that felt like a held breath. The article did not boom like a drum, but it resonated like a low note on a piano. Some readers said thank you, and some readers said traitor, and many said they needed coffee. Maya scheduled a stream and threw out the script and turned the ring light down.
I made a house of hope, and then I put locks on the doors. I wanted to protect the child I used to be, and I ended up scolding strangers. I made policies because they felt cleaner than people. I am going to end the blacklists and publish our books and pay for the window.
The chat froze for a breath, and then it split like a river at a rock. Some said this is growth, and some said this is weakness, and some finally went quiet. Jules posted a plan for a new space with public rules and an outside ombuds.
We will call it Harbor Commons, and it will be small on purpose.
Elliot verified the bakery payment without naming the donor, and he slept for once. The city took a walk and looked at itself in the dark screens of closed shops. The bakery replaced the window and put out a tray of samples like a peace sign you can eat.
I am still scared, and I am also grateful, which is a messy way to be alive.
We want to bake for everyone who likes bread, and even for those who only like the smell.
Maya took a week off and did not post, and the internet did not break. She went back with smaller claims and more questions than answers.
Hope is a light on the porch and not a searchlight on your face.
The phrase stuck because it sounded like something your neighbor would say over a fence. People tried it on and found that it fit different bodies in different ways. The crowd turned back into people who needed to make dinner and send emails. Jules ran the Commons with a boring calendar and a simple ledger. Boring is a praise word when you have lived through a storm of attention. Elliot moved on to another story because that is what he does. He kept a small card in his wallet that said ask who pays and who decides. Now let me pull you through some quick moments, because small hooks keep a mind awake. A donor asks if their perk includes faster empathy and hears the silence hit the floor. A mod writes safety first and then wonders if power feels like safety when you hold it. A client types a question and deletes it and goes for a walk instead. The bakery starts a class on yeast for teens and calls it Patience Practice with Sugar. A sponsor pulls a deal and learns that values are more expensive than ads. A troll tries to start a fight and gets sent a list of soup recipes and gives up. These are small repairs, and they matter more than a press release. Let us turn to the theme that brought you here, because the title promised a machine. A machine is what you get when a habit repeats without being checked. Hope becomes a machine when it measures people instead of meeting them. A person becomes a part when they say the line and hit the button and forget to look up. Maya forgot to look up, and then she did, and that made all the difference. She paid a bill she did not have to pay, and she said a truth that burned her mouth. She learned that repair is not as shiny as victory, but it holds better in the rain. Jules learned that loyalty is not silence, and that love argues when it must. Elliot learned that a soft tone can carry a hard fact without breaking it. The bakers learned that a good name is made of 1,000 small mornings. The city learned that a porch light is enough to get you to the door. Now I want to check the feeling in your chest, because stories are only useful if they touch the real thing. Have you ever used the word protect when you meant control? Have you ever called someone unsafe because they annoyed you? Have you ever paid a fee to feel righteous and then felt empty later? I have asked myself the same, and the answers keep me honest when I am tempted by the easy glow. Remember the beginning, when the window cracked under a banner of care. That crack came from a hand, and the hand came from a thought that dressed itself as virtue. It is almost funny if you like your humor dark and dry. We talk about safety while acting like a stampede in a shop that sells glass. The joke is not on victims because harm is real and old and heavy. The joke is on our habit of turning pain into policy faster than we can breathe. This is why the fix is small and daily and very boring to sell. Ask more questions than you make rules. Put names behind actions so power has a face and a phone number. Publish the plan before the crisis and not after it. Keep your porch light steady and low and aim it at your own feet first. Some of you will ask for proof that people can change because you have seen too many apologies with glitter. We do not get proof here, and we do not get closure with credits. We get a person making bread, and another person buying it, and a kid going to a school play. We get a leader turning a ring light down and calling an accountant. We get a friend saying I love you, and also no more of this. If you need a clean moral, then take this, because it is simple and it works. Hope should help people find a door and not push them through it. Boundaries should keep you safe and not turn you into a guard with a baton. Care should pay the bill when it breaks a window, even if the window broke by accident. These are not slogans and not brand copy and not a mood board. These are instructions for Tuesday when your group chat gets loud. We are almost done, and I want to give you a few last quick images for the road. A porch with a small light that draws moths and also helps you find your keys. A bakery at dawn with the smell of sugar rising like a promise that does not shout. A phone on a table with the screen face down, because you can look up for a minute. A woman who was hurt, who learns to be kind without being a cop. A friend who holds a mirror instead of a megaphone when you slip. A city that learns to whisper again after a year of yelling. I will close the loop from our first questions because a story should keep its word. If you finally feel safe, you keep it by staying human and not by becoming a rule. If a crowd cheers you on, you keep your ear for the small voice that says, wait. If someone calls you a villain for turning down the light, you let the night give you back your eyes. That is the tale of the hope machine and the hands that built it and then learned to unclench. Thank you for staying with me to the end, because your time is the one gift I do not take lightly. If this story hit a nerve or helped you see a corner of your own life, please tap like, because it tells the system to show this to someone who needs it. Please subscribe and ring whatever bell you see, because it keeps our little porch light on. Drop a comment with what part stuck with you or what you think I missed, because I read them all. If you want to support this channel, please use the QR code on the screen or the link in the description to send a donation. The description also has links to other works from a very different series that you might enjoy next. I will see you soon, and I hope you will be here for the next story, because we are not done learning how to be human.